Stealing the dance? Yeah, whose fault is it? Because you guys don't even know the names of the stuff you're doing. Because you guys can't even protect the dance that you're trying to do. Because you don't go and find all the information. That's on you guys too. And your teachers. You can be a student and ask your teacher questions so that you understand that they understand what they're teaching you. Don't get mad when you go to an audition and you're doing the right thing and somebody tells you, like, oh no, that's not what we do today. You can't be mad. It's your fault if you can't explain it. We're coming to London to take it back. We're coming to take it back! Alright, good. So now, we got a little bit of time to start late. Now we're going to put these basic, the life, it was just amazing. I used to go from Boston on a Friday night, dance in hip-hop clubs, go to this club, pop a loft, drive all the way to New York the next morning, take a shower, no sleep, get a couple of, no, what was it called? What was that drink car we had?
Cisco.
Not Cisco. It was the soda, but it was real. They had to take it off the market.
I can't remember.
Me and Terry drank 2 of those one day.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, it was the soda that they had.
It was a soda, like
it was like an
energy drink
all
before
caffeine.
Red Bull. But it wasn't really an energy drink, it's just full of sugar.
Full straight caffeine and sugar.
It's just full of sugar. You just be like this after you drink it.
Drink 2 of those, drive all the way to New York, hang out all day just to wait for the clubs. I mean, you guys gotta have that type of love and passion. And then you'll feel like what it's like to say, okay, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. Just like if you guys was to learn Kung Fu, Capoeira, anything you want to do, wouldn't you want to go find it and say, yeah, I want to see what the real thing is like? Or get a chance. Like, look at today, I mean, it's shocking. I'm not trying to diss England or London or anything, but this is one of the worst dancers that are here. But look at how many people showed up. To his class, to this class, you have an opportunity to learn from people that know the dance completely. And look at what happened. People make excuses. Brazil, I'm going to Brazil next week. Those classes are 100 deep. Those kids don't have money. They save their money and they come because they want to know the real thing. They want to know the truth. There's no excuses, guys. I was a poor kid myself. I didn't have no money. I found a way to get to New York, though. I found a way. Excuse me, but excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one.
And they all stink.
And they all stink. They all stink. If you want something bad enough, you're going to go get it. You are going to go get it. You're going to make it happen. These sneakers we have on, sneaker deal. People said we couldn't do it. You can't do it. We have our own sneaker. Because we want it. You defeat yourself.
Yeah, we want it. It's a lot of hard work.
It's hard work. Nothing comes easy. And the kids these days just want to click on YouTube. Oh, okay, I got it. Enter a battle. Oh, why did I lose? Oh, the judges are stupid. They have so many excuses. If you're dope, you're dope. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's going to be bad judgment. But if you're top of the pop, top of the cream, you're going to continuously rise to the top. You're going to rise to the top. Because you're going to work hard for it. And that's what's the best thing about this street culture that we're in. You can knock down any door you want if you put the work into it. Learn your history and your foundation. We're coming here now. We're going to be here now. And spread the word. Like, you guys are missing out on some good information, some good knowledge. We can't come here forever, and then that allows you guys to become great teachers to your people here. And build your core history so that when you guys go to other people that are trying to be jazz, and then you say, oh, well, and they say, no, well, we have our hip-hop. We have our house. And you can see that they're completely doing it wrong. Now you guys can start to fight that.
Above all else, I mean, as I was telling them out there, you guys need to come together as a scene. I mean, as a culture. You know, divided, your weakness shows. That's why, you know, I'm sorry to say this, but it's why the way you see the way people dance is because nobody dances together. You know, none of these dances, you know, I'm sorry to say, you know, it's a misconception that one person invented this or one person invented that. One person came up with the idea, several people contributed to it. the elevation of the style. Don Campbell created the Campbell lock, but you can clearly see, Scooby-Doo contributed to locking. Greg Campbell Jr. contributed to locking. Shabba-Doo contributed to locking. So it's not one person, it's a collective. The only way your culture grows, the only way the scene grows is as a collective. It's when people come together. It's nice that everybody wants to be here and there, and oh, I'm this, I'm that. None of that matters in the long, in the big picture, in the long term, in the long run. You can be a big fish in a small pond only but for so long, because at some point you want to get out of that pond and get into the stream and into the river and then into the ocean. And in the ocean, there's always someone bigger, always a bigger fish. But even the smallest fish can beat the biggest fish, depending on how much work that little fish puts in. It's all based on what you put in is what you get out. If you go in half-assed, excuse my language, then you look half-assed. It's fairly simple. If you go in with the attitude of an athlete, the best athletes, aren't born, they're made. Tiger Woods didn't become the best golfer, overnight. His dad introduced him to golf when he was a little boy. He saw Arnold Palmer, and he said, I'm going to be better than him. And Arnold Palmer's the best of all time. And when Tiger Woods became a pro, he won everything, back to back to back for years, because he put in the dedication. When his swing was messed up, he improved his swing. His mechanics, he works on it all the time. The same thing with Michael Jordan. When Jordan became a basketball player, when he came into the NBA, nobody knew who he was. And then he started dunking on people. They said all he could do was dunk.
He got cut from his high school team.
Yeah. Then he started shooting threes. Oh, he could just shoot. And he had the fadeaway jumper. Then he out-dribbled people.
Oh, he doesn't play defense.
Then he don't play defense. Then he became all defensive player. Then they said he couldn't make his team better. And then he won 3 championships, back to back to back. Nobody had done it. And then he retired. And he went to play baseball. And then he said, oh, you can't come back. And then he came back. And he won 3 more championships, back to back to back. And he shut everybody up. Now when they mention Michael Jordan, what do they say? Oh, he's the greatest of all time. End of story. End of discussion. Certain people want to put him and this one and that one. It's great. But when you think of the best basketball player ever, the first guy that comes up, 2 initials, MJ. It's very simple. It's fairly simple. You have to put in the work. It's called due diligence. To work at it. Some people are talented. They don't need to work as hard as others. Case in point, I've danced with Link for 23 years. In 23 years, I've yet to get that fool to practice. Yet. He don't practice. He don't practice here. When we go to the club, he practices. If we're in a setting, a club setting, that's him practicing. Because he's just dancing. That's his way of practice. He doesn't do organized practice. He won't go in and drill. I'll go in and drill. Because I have to. Because I want to learn everything. I want to be able to get into every cipher. So if people are whacking over there, and they're playing all disco, and I'm in the club and I'm bored to death, I want to go whack, because I want to dance. If they're playing breaks, I want to rock with the B-boys. If they're playing funk, G-funk, I want to pop with the poppers. If they're playing classic funk or disco funk, I want to lock with the lockers. If they play hip-hop, I'm sitting motherfuckers down. Excuse my language. It's fairly simple. If they play house, I'm in the cipher. If they start voguing, I might start voguing. I was with Archie and Funkin' Styles. I'm not gay at all, but he had me out there. Hey! I'm like, what am I doing? I was in the moment. In the moment. But I could dance with them because I put in the work. know about voguing. I can't teach it.
On that note, though, I want to tell you guys, Stretch is an exception too, even in our crew. He's like the only one that really can do all the styles, like, and teach all the styles. I'm hip hop in the house. I can pop too, but I would never teach popping because I haven't perfected it enough to teach it. I'm gonna tell you guys, it's a hard thing these days too because everybody is trying to learn everything. And I want to tell you guys, become great at one thing first.
Yeah.
Stop trying to do everything because you're not going to become great at something until you perfect one thing that you know. It hurts to dance, it's hurting to sing because so many people think like, well, I can just do everything. No, you're not becoming great because you haven't learned everything about the one dance yet that you may love the most. We're in street dance. I even hate the categories. I believe it's a street dance culture. I know a little bit of every dance. I can do every dance. But my specialty or my major is hip hop. My minor is house, or whatever. But those are my two great things. And then I pick up subjects along the way. I can lock. I'm terrible, but I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I can whack, I can bow, I can b-boy, I can do everything. But my expertise is in hip hop in house. First it was hip hop. I didn't even know about house, but then I danced house for 7 years. 7 years before I even decided to go, okay, I'm ready to teach house.
Same thing with me with locking. When I decided to learn, I learned locking from my boy Lucian. I knew about locking, I knew about the lockers, well, Fred Berry, Rerun, what's happening. But I didn't really get into locking until I went to Japan. And I seen all these kids locking there. And then even then, I kind of dabbled with it. But when we went to LA, we were doing a video, Men in Black. And we went to the club after rehearsal. And in the club, we started battling, the dancers in the club. And this one dude jumps out there and he starts locking. So I start battling him and locking. And I'm beating this dude in locking and I don't lock. I'm looking at it, telling me he learned from Don Campbell and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all you're doing is 1, 2, 3, lock. Over and over and over again. At least I know how to do this, and I know how to do that, and I know how to, and I'm going through all of the vocabulary battling this dude, and then I realized I could actually learn this stuff. So then I did the due diligence. I went and got the tapes of the lockers, Soul Train, all of their shows. I actually got to meet the lockers individually and ask them questions. And that's how I met Don Campbell, is because I was at B-Boy Summit 2004 and I was dancing in the circle, locking, I was going in. And after I got out of the circle, Don Campbell came all the way around the circle and introduced himself to me. He said, "You're one of the best lockers I've ever seen." I wanted to cry. I had a tape with him and Boogaloo Sam giving me compliments. This is in 2004. Yeah, that boy can lock.
This is a great thing. Every top artist in the world, every most famous artist in the world that sells millions and millions of records, what do they use? They use dancers. But who's the worst paid on that stage? The dancer.
Everybody knows what a totem pole is, right? Okay. You have your top artist, Beyonce, whatever, top of the totem pole. But you know about single ladies because of the dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys the people that choreograph that, or Who Run the World, girls, the Pansula from South Africa, bottom of the totem pole. They should at least be in the middle, because you don't know those things without them. You don't care about single ladies as much without the dancing in the video.
What would Michael Jackson's videos be without the dance? Do you know, it was released in the New York Times 2 weeks ago, the average professional dancer makes $28,000 a year. That means the Broadway people and stuff. You're not even talking about street dancers. That's just above poverty level. Just above it.
These are Broadway
dancers. And imagine the dancers on stage for Madonna, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Missy Elliott, whatever it was. How much their shows are improved because of the dancer. But also it's up to the dancers to start fighting for what you deserve. You gotta value who you are. You gotta value your worth. I got spoiled. I came in on behind you. Thank you. So I don't know anything but good money.
As I was explaining to you earlier.
I don't know anything about but good money in dancing. It made me really sad what's going on with dancing these days. organizers trying to give you the low cut, the low budget. I'm sorry. Well, hey, you know, it's time to everybody start valuing who you are. Say, no, I'm great. Pay me. It doesn't mean you're being greedy. People say to me, oh, why do you just love this? You don't love hip hop no more. Why? Because I feel like we should be paid the right way. And because we're making stuff now. Jay-Z doesn't love hip hop because he has Rockaway. Diddy doesn't like hip hop because he has Sean John. No.
Nonsense. My dad said to me when I started this, he said, if you don't put a worth on what you do, then why would anybody else put a worth to it?
And that's why you guys
There's no value in what you do. If you don't value what you do, then how is somebody else supposed to value it? If you don't take it seriously, then why would they take it seriously? But if you take it seriously, then you force them to take it seriously.
I say no, and I write letters like, get your game up. If you want the best, you go get it and you pay for it. It's just plain and simple. If you want those dope kicks you got on, you either go find them at an outlet on sale or you find the money to get them. If you want a Mac computer, you can't go to Mac. Well, Mac, you know what? You guys make millions of dollars and
billions.
It's just not right. I just think you should give me a discount. No, you can't do that. But with the dancer, it always happens.
You should do it for free. You can get exposure.
Exposure, your name is gonna get bigger.
Really?
And then you go try to get your neighbors out there, but then you go to that place and they're like, well, you know what? We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what we can do. It starts cutting down. Exactly where we're in the state we're at right now, where you guys can't get paid. Value this dance, value your worth, love it enough to protect it and say, look, this is something great because it's needed. It's needed by everybody. Dance is huge right now, the TV shows, everything. The dance is winning the contest. Let's go.
Let's be clear. When they started So You Think You Can Dance, the hip hop dancers were treated like they didn't know anything. They were told that they had no technique, they had no style, thank you, and they were critiqued, by standards for jazz dancers. It wasn't until the ratings came in, and each year the ratings went up. The ratings spiked on TV when the hip hop dancers were on. When the street dancers were on, the ratings spiked. When you didn't have the street dancers, the ratings took a dive. So what did they do? Add more street dancers. And it wasn't until Debbie Allen was a guest judge, and one of the judges on there said, oh, you guys don't have technique, and Debbie Allen said, stop. How do you know they don't have technique? Street dancers have tons of technique. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean they don't have technique. And she shut it down. And then Tony Basil was on there and said the same thing. Street dancers have tons of technique. You need to learn it. How are you a judge?
Yeah, sending this one out to my man Killer B. No doubt, indeed.